Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Imagine, just for a second, that you're walking through a dense, shadowy forest right as the sun dips below the horizon. The air is thick. It's perfectly, unnervingly quiet. And then you hear it. A sound that absolutely should not be there. Today, we are plunging deep into the heart of Thai folklore. We're going to explore ancient forest myths and modern-day hauntings. But we aren't just stopping at the ghost stories. We're actually going to uncover the fascinating, totally grounded science and psychology behind exactly why we experience these chilling phenomena. So let me ask you this right off the bat. If you hear a familiar voice calling your name out in the dark woods, are you going to turn around? Well, according to deeply rooted ancient Thai beliefs, you absolutely shouldn't. The lore explicitly warns that hearing familiar voices, sudden screams, or mysterious footsteps in the forest are actually traps. They're set by spirits or entities that are literally mimicking humans. The belief is that if you answer back or even just turn around to look, these spirits will trick your soul into leaving your body. It's a terrifying thought, right? Just being lured away into the unknown by simply acknowledging a sound.
Section 1. เสียงลี้ลับและพรายน้ำ Mysterious sounds and the พรายน้ำ Okay, let's dive into this. We're moving from the eerie, whispering trees of the forest to another incredibly chilling natural environment, deep, dark waters and swirling whirlpools. In Thai folklore, the water holds its own kind of terror, most notably the Pai Nam. These are believed to be the vengeful spirits of women who drowned or suffered a really tragic death in the water. And the physical descriptions from the historical sources, they are intensely atmospheric and honestly terrifying. They're said to have incredibly pale, corpse-like skin, or sometimes even greenish, rotting flesh, covered in this foul-smelling slime. But why are they so feared? Well, the legends say that the Phrai Nam actively lurks near deep waters and whirlpools, just waiting to lure unsuspecting people to a watery grave. And the reason is chilling. They are seeking servants or a replacement soul so that they can finally move on. Interestingly enough, local legends often specify that they have a real preference for targeting handsome, young men. Now, when we step back and look at this objectively, these deeply held beliefs serve a very real practical purpose. Think about it. Before modern lighting and safety warnings, telling tales of the Phrai Nam was an incredibly effective way to keep people, especially reckless young guys, super cautious and far away from dangerous, swirling waters at night. Section 2. ตำนานหลอนในสถานศึกษา Haunted Campus Legends.
All right, so we've talked about ancient nature myths, but let's shift gears for a minute and look at modern-day encounters. Because these supernatural experiences, they aren't just old stories from hundreds of years ago. They are actively happening to young people today, right in the middle of getting their education. Take a look at these real experiences shared by students from Phio University. These aren't just vague feelings of being spooked. They are vividly describing things like a female ghost appearing in the mirrors of their dorm rooms, or a mysterious nurse just completely vanishing on the staircases of the public health faculty after midnight. The fear these students are feeling is absolutely genuine. Now, what's really fascinating here is how these specific local legends actually dictate how students navigate their daily campus life. Like at Phio University, there are these 9 sacred trees that students firmly believe host guardian spirits. If you damage them, you're literally inviting bad luck or accidents. Then you have the failure spots. These are specific seats in certain classrooms where the legend says a senior spirit absolutely refuses to graduate. If you sit there, boom, you fail the class for 3 years straight. And of course, you've got the classic reports of chairs moving by themselves in empty classrooms at dusk. The lore just becomes this living, breathing part of the university's culture. And hey, it's not just universities either. Real-world accounts from schools in Phichit province echo these exact same themes. Students and staff are reporting unexplainable, mysterious sounds echoing in empty hallways and disturbing sights that are deeply, deeply intertwined with the local history of the area. It just goes to show that these chilling educational legends are a widespread phenomenon stretching across entirely different provinces. Section 3. วิทยาศาสตร์ของการเห็นผี The Science of Seeing Ghosts. Okay, time to pivot. We've explored the deeply cultural and spooky side of things, but now let's put on our analytical hats. Let's introduce the fascinating scientific realities that actually explain these exact phenomena. The American Paranormal Research Association, or APRA, systematically breaks down why people see ghosts into 4 main scientific reasons. First up, electromagnetic fields, or EMF. Sudden changes in environmental magnetic fields can literally mess with our brains and senses, causing flat-out hallucinations. Second, sleep disorders. Things like sleep paralysis or waking dreams can make your brain project literal nightmare imagery right into the room with you. Third is phasmophobia, a severe, deep-seated fear of ghosts. If you're terrified of the dark, your brain can trigger a massive panic attack and actually manufacture the terrifying sights and sounds you're most afraid of. Now, let's see how this builds into our fourth point, which is honestly the most mind-blowing. So the crucial point here is cerebral anoxia. This is a real medical condition where there is a sudden lack of oxygen to the brain. When your brain is starved of oxygen, it completely panics. Your sensory perception distorts wildly, and you can experience vivid, intense hallucinations. But here's the crazy part. Cerebral anoxia perfectly mimics the feeling of your soul floating up and leaving your body. Sound familiar? It's exactly what the ancient Thai forest myths warned about.
Section 4, กลไกปริศนาทางจิตวิทยา Psychological Mysteries.
This brings us perfectly into the everyday tricks our human brains play on us. Let's explore how our own minds can make the perfectly ordinary feel deeply, undeniably supernatural. Most of us know déjà vu, right? That incredibly eerie feeling that you have lived this exact moment before, even though you logically know it's impossible. But then there's its bizarre opposite, jamais vu. This is when you look at something you know perfectly well, maybe your own living room, or a word you write every single day, and suddenly it feels completely alien and unfamiliar. These are mind tricks. They're often triggered by stress, exhaustion, or just a simple misfire in how the brain stores memories. Yet, to the person experiencing them, it feels incredibly otherworldly, almost like a glitch in the matrix. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever been sitting on your couch, realized you needed a pair of scissors from the office, walked through the door into the office, and suddenly stopped dead in your tracks with absolutely no idea why you're standing there? I guarantee you have. We all have. Well, good news. A ghost didn't wipe your memory. This is actually called the doorway effect, and it's a scientifically documented brain mechanism. When you cross a physical threshold, like a doorway, your brain creates a sort of save file for the old room and opens up a blank page to process the new environment. It's just your brain efficiently resetting its focus. But sometimes, in doing so, it accidentally drops the short-term memory of why you entered in the first place. So yeah, it's a neurological filing error, not a supernatural intervention.
Section 5 พลังงานลี้ลับเขากะลา The Mysterious Energy of เขากะลา
Now, let's bring all this together, the supernatural and the scientific, at one of the most famous unexplained hotspots in Thailand, Khao Kala. Located in Nakhon Sawan, Khao Kala is a legendary for UFO sightings and totally unexplained sky phenomena. But honestly, it's way more than just lights in the sky. Campers and visitors report feeling this intense spiritual connection. They describe it as a cosmic energy frequency that literally vibrates and shifts their human perception, filling them with a profound, unexplainable sense of peace. It is a place where the physical landscape seems to interact directly with the human mind. So how do we explain that? Well, some researchers look toward quantum physics and a concept known as the observer effect. This principle basically suggests that the mere act of observing something actually changes its behavior. In the context of mystical places like Kaukala, the theory is that human consciousness, intention, and deep focus might dynamically interact with and shape the surrounding universal energy. It completely blurs the lines between strict physical reality, the supernatural, and the immense untapped power of the human mind. And this right here brilliantly illustrates our entire journey today. We have the phenomenon, we have the rich cultural belief, and right alongside it, we have the modern academic explanation. Hearing a voice in the woods? It might be a mimicking spirit, or it might be the auditory hallucinations of severe psychological stress. Seeing a ghostly entity in the water might be the terrifying phrenom, or it could be your brain misfiring due to EMF or a lack of oxygen. Experiencing an altered reality, you might be stepping into a spirit realm, or your brain might simply be executing a doorway effect. We've looked at the ancient myths designed to keep us safe, the haunted halls of modern universities, and the incredible science that shows how our brains can invent their very own haunted houses. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Whether the things bumping in the night are wandering spirits in the dark Thai woods, or incredibly complex, powerful tricks played by our own neurons, isn't the human mind the greatest mystery of all? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and stay curious.